And today we are going to continue from verse 24 onwards. Yesterday we understood that the Divine Lord is not available to anybody unless and until they have a qualifier over there. What is the qualifier over here? First, you have to attain the fixed and firm intelligence on the Divine Lord Himself. That means your knowledge about God has to be fixed, has to become very firm, and you have to be a devotee of God. So this is a criteria. Second one, you have to give up your transcendental world. That is basically to go into transcendence, which means go into the world of spiritual. You have to give up all your material worldly attachments. Okay? Now, this is a thing which is very important, because if you have attachments to the material world, you are going to be always about desire. I want this and I want that. And when you are in a state where desire is important, you are only going to ask for things. You are not going to do anything. If you want money, you will go and say, God, give me money. If you want to get married, you will say, God, I want marriage. If you want children, then you will say, I want a child. It's all about desires. You are not actually interested in God. You are interested in only what gifts the person is giving. Even in your childhood, I'm sure you have met your grandfather and grandmother. Now, most of the people go to their grandfather's place, or grandmother's place. And when they go over there, they have an expectation that I'll get some chocolates, I'll get this and I'll get that. Even now, there is a season of Christmas coming, Christmas is right around the corner. You want to sit on the lap of Santa Claus and get goodies, gifts. Are you not interested in goodies? Everybody is looking towards Santa Claus for gifts only. They are not interested in who Santa Claus is. According to them, Santa Claus is only meant to give gifts. What is the real reason behind it? Somebody goes to the place of worship like a temple or a church or any place, we go with a begging bowl. We are not going there for saying I love you or I want to, be one with you. There is nothing like that. But when you are in love with another person, let us say you have fallen in love. When you fall in love, what do? You give to that person. You see, if you have a girlfriend, you are going to give, when the 14th of February and all comes, what do? You go with one card and one flower and stuff like that. You want to give the person you love, isn't it? So the idea is, when you love something or you love someone, you give, you don't take from that person. If you take from that person, then it is not called love, it is called transaction. Even in marriage, why does a marriage break down? The marriage breaks down because every person has their personal desire. I want this, I want that. Whether it is a matter of food, whether it is doing some household chores, like going to the kitchen and working, everywhere that you go, it is you are expecting the other person to do the job. Isn't that the truth? You think that, okay, I have done this for him, he should do this for me. It is a transaction. It is like going to the market and buying vegetables, When you buy vegetables, you take the vegetables and you give money, isn't it? So your marriage becomes a transaction because it is all about taking, not about giving. So when you are in love, you give. And when you are in the material world, you transact. So what is Sri Krishna saying over here? Sri Krishna is saying that you have to give up this kind of a behavior of yours, which is deplorable. The world is full of material requirements. I want this and I want that. So he says you have to give up all your desires and just love for the sake of loving, not because you want something in life. Got the point? So this is where we had ended, and he tells him that you can only see me now in the next life of yours. So now today we are going to continue further. We are doing Srimad Bhagavatam Canto 1 chapter 6 verse 24. Intelligence engaged in my devotion cannot be thwarted at any time, even at the time of creation as well as the time of annihilation. Your remembrance will continue by my mercy. We'll do the next verse also, 25. And then that supreme authority, personified by sound and unseen by eyes, but most wonderful, stopped speaking. Feeling a sense of gratitude, I offered my obeisance unto him, bowing my head. Now here is something that he is advised. What is the advice? This advice is very, very important for you to know how things work in this world. So let us say you are doing some transaction in the material world. That transaction is always completed, correct? Let us say you take money from someone as a loan, you are supposed to repay back. If you don't repay back, then you have to come and repay it once again in some other life of yours. Is that the truth? Is this how the karma works? This is what you have understood. Now, every transaction in the material world is a return back. Did you understand this? Every transaction in the material world is a give back. So you do good to someone, the good has to give him back. Whatever good that you do in the world. So that person will return the favor back to you. Let us say you have donated blood to somebody. That person needed blood and you have given blood to that person. Now, you may say, I donated blood. This is what you say. Now, you may say, this is one-way transaction. No, this is wrong. That's not the way how it is. The return back is always going to be there. If in this life it doesn't happen, at least in the next or the next or the next, some life of yours, it has to be returned back. So that donation which you gave of blood will be given back to you once again. If you give money, that has to be given back to you once again. If you are getting married to a person and you have done some favors to this person in the sense that you have treated that person nicely and the person might not have treated you nicely, then that both these favors have to be returned back in the same form to the same person. Can I return the favor to somebody else? Suppose there is a wife of X, X has a wife Y, okay? And there is another family A and B, okay? So X and Y will have a transaction. People have this very, very strange thinking that if I return the favor to somebody else, I am going to get it, I'll get a positive benefit. Sorry, let me tell you this. That means you have done a transaction, X to Y transaction is done. Why will the Y give to A or B? I hope you are getting the point. You see, people have this idea that I did good to that person and somebody else did good to me. It is not a merry-go-round. No. The same person has to return or no. If you have taken money, you have to return it back. Somebody else entering the place, suppose, let us say your brother or your sister has taken some loan. Okay? And your brother or sister dies. Okay? Now that loan has to be returned, is that correct or no? Now you are the sibling and you are told to pay the loan. Now tell me something, if your brother or sister has taken a loan and now you have to pay for no rhyme or reason. What did I say? You don't have to pay. According to the world, you are not, why should I be involved in somebody else's business is what you will say. But let us say that person has taken 10 lakh rupees and the person dies and the money is gone. And now as a sister, you are supposed to pay that 10 lakh rupees to the bank. You are paying the 10 lakh rupees. Are you not going to feel obligated that, oh, I am doing such a great favor, that useless fellow had taken so much of loan and now I have to pay for it? Are you going to think like this or no? So the transaction is not complete. On the contrary, you have created a bigger transaction in life. Did you get the point? I will tell you how the bigger transaction is. You feel that you have done a favor and given the money. It should not be given. You have returned 15 lakhs to the bank. Got the point? You are giving 15 lakhs to the bank. Let us say, instead of bank, let us say a money lender. Let us not call it a bank, a money lender. So you have returned, including interest, 15 lakhs you have returned. How is it connected to your brother who died? You are going to always keep on thinking, a waste fellow, useless fellow, I had to pay for him. Isn't that what you are going to say? So you will think you have done some great favor. Isn't that true? So then this money lender in some life has to repay you back 15 lakhs. Because that money transaction is still not complete. You think that fellow owes it to you. Now, your brother still has to pay 10 lakhs, isn't it? So the transaction with the money lender and your brother is still valid. Now, you have entered the picture. Every time when you pay the money, you are going to think about your brother. Useless fellow, I have to give for your benefit. Your brother has to pay you 15 lakhs. Because on his behalf you have paid, isn't it? So now just because you got yourself involved in this transaction, by thinking about it, see how the karma works. Now the karma which was one-way street, that is only this A to B, became A to B to C. You are the C. So 3 people are involved now, and these 3 people have to pay each other. Did you get the point? Think about it. Let us look at it from this point of view. I am talking of money. Let us talk of extramarital affairs. Instead of money, translate it into extramarital affairs. A is married to B, is having an affair with X. How many people are involved now? There are 4 people involved. Because X's husband is Y. Don't you think he will feel cheated? I hope you get the point. X's husband Y is going to feel cheated. A's husband is B, A's wife is B, she is going to feel cheated. So now because an extramarital affair happens, karma is of 4 people, not 1 and 2. And now imagine there are 2 children involved over there. A and B have 2 children, X and Y have 1 child. Are you doing injustice to your 2 children? Yes. Are you doing injustice to that 1 child? Yes. So now how many people are involved? 7 people are involved. How do you repay the transactions for 7 people? So karma is a terrible thing. Nobody understands how the entire cascading effect happens. It's a cascading effect. Nobody understands karma for this reason. The transaction is only connected to the mind. What is it connected to? Mind. And the mind is involved in it. X's husband, Y, is thinking my wife is not doing the right thing. Isn't that correct? He is only thinking. He may not be doing anything. But in his own mind, does he not think that I want to murder her? Naturally, his blood is boiling. He wants to do something. Now this brother, sister and the lender was a three-way street. More people can get involved. Because the brother who took the money did not take it for himself. Maybe he took it to give it to poor children. Now do you see how big this effect happens? So the value of karma keeps on increasing like this. Nobody can understand how karma works. And that is the reason why, what is Sri Krishna saying to Narada? Have a single pointed devotion to me and do not have any desires in your mind. Somebody is misbehaving, let them misbehave. You thinking about it is going to create karma. Can you understand this statement or no? Because your desire, I want to show this person, isn't that what your desire is? That is what creates karma. If as a sister you would have just given away the money and not even thought of it, then there is no karma involved. And never say that I have repaid. Don't. You are not doing anybody a favor. There is a very, very fine line in karma and non-karma. You see, there is a very fine line and nobody can understand this. And that is why it is important to know these things very well and not do things which are wrong. So the first line says, intelligence engaged in my devotion cannot be thwarted at any time. So, at all points in time, devote your intelligence only towards my worship. So the sister has to think, when she is doing something to her brother's repayment, that she is repaying Krishna's debt. She is giving money to Krishna, not to some money lender. She is paying. Who is Krishna then? Her brother. He may be the biggest villain on earth, does not matter. But she is paying Krishna's debt to Krishna. The money lender is also Krishna. So if you have a transaction only with one entity called Krishna, how is it that you are going to have karma in your name? Any transaction done with Krishna is a karma with Krishna only, no? And that is how you have to see. So use your intellect only for doing work for Krishna. So don't think you are doing favors to your child, to your husband, to your wife, to your mother and father. Think they are the form of Krishna. That is why the third D is important. It's called discrimination. See God in everything and everyone. Your brother may be a villain in life, but we consider him as Krishna because I am paying that thing for Krishna only. And whom am I paying? To Krishna. And who is paying? Krishna is paying to Krishna for Krishna's debt. So why will that thing come to you? This is a very intelligent way of looking at life. Tomorrow don't go and murder someone and say Krishna murdered that person. You know, that is wrong. Or I am going to have affair with Krishna and go and have an affair with your neighbor's wife. No, don't do that. That is not how it works. When you know for sure that is your neighbor's wife, you are not supposed to have all that, okay? Otherwise you will try to say, Guruji ne bolata. Guruji never says like this. So think how intelligence has to work. Then, what happens is very, very unique. When you do this kind of a thing, the intellect is retained in you. See, for normal people, when they die, their mind body goes with. So the mind body gets transferred from one body to the other, to the other, to the other, to the other. Okay? Now, when the mind body gets transferred, it is a karmic debt you are going to pay. But when the divine intelligence alone is transferred, because now there is no karma in your name, because you have thought that you are paying Krishna's debt, isn't it? You're Krishna, you're paying Krishna's debt to Krishna only. So how is that? Thinking is very clear. So where is the debt now? The debt is not there. So karma is a karma. It is not there only. No there. Now, when that happens, your mind body is no longer having a desire, correct? There is no desire, no. What is the only desire? To be with Krishna is the only desire. That's it. So what happens to the mind body? The mind body dissolves. It stays back with that dead body of yours on the planet Earth. It is waste. What goes with you is called the divine intellect. So your soul carries only the divinity, the divine intellect with you. That is why he says the intelligence is going. And then he says, then every time when the creation happens, not just once. Remember, after the 4 yugas, everything gets destroyed, correct? Now you may say, if everything gets destroyed, everything starts from day one, from the first time. No! This is the funny part. Only the goodness, only the intellect, the superior intellect, which is the divine intellect, is reborn again in the next Manavantara. You will come to know about this when the creation starts and the Sapta Rishis and all come. Who do you think the Sapta Rishis are? Only the divine intelligence. So here Sri Krishna is telling Narada, because you are like this and because you have only the divine intelligence left, so every time when the creation happens, as well as the time of annihilation, your remembrance will continue by my mercy. So this same idea of intelligence will come to you in your next life as a continuation after the Manavantara is over. In a normal person, when the Manavantara is over, he is finished, gone, destroyed. Not for the sages. So Narada is going to be reborn again. Then the supreme authority. So then what happens? This much is told to Narada, and then Sri Krishna disappears from the scene. Okay? And that is the reason why Narada is offering him obeisance and says, thank you very much for giving me such a wonderful knowledge. Now let us move to the next verse. Verse 26, thus I began chanting the holy name and the fame of the Lord by repeated recitation, ignoring all the formalities of the material world. Such chanting and remembering of the pastimes of the Lord are benedictory. So doing, I traveled all over the earth, fully satisfied, humble and unenvious. Next verse says, verse 27, and so, O Brahmana Vyasdev, in due course of time, I, who was fully absorbed in thinking of Krishna, and who therefore had no attachments, being completely freed from all material tents, met with death as lightning and illumination occurs simultaneously. So what happens to Narada? Narada knows now very well that just taking the name of God and roaming around in this world, taintless. He is not having any taint. He has no desires. He has nothing in this life. He just moves around the world, Narayana, Narayana, Narayana. He just keeps on saying and just keeps on moving as a human being. And because he is so pure in his life, and because he is a human being, he has to die. So at the end of that particular time period, Narada meets his death. Okay? And now after meeting the death, what happens? He is continuously chanting the name of the Lord. Okay? And thinking only of Sri Krishna, nothing else. Having been awarded a transcendental body befitting an associate of Sri Krishna, I quit the body made up of 5 material elements and thus acquired fruitive results. All the acquired fruitive results of work stopped. Now, Narada is dying, and when he dies, his body is pure, only full of divinity. It is a divine body which is transcendental in nature. It doesn't have any, contamination of any sort. So it is a pure intellect. And because he has a pure intellect, he goes away to Sri Krishna's abode. And in that life of his, no karma was pending in his name. He becomes free of karma. When a person becomes free of karma, they don't even go to heaven or hell, they go straight to Goloka. The idea is everybody should aim for this, keeping their body, mind and spirit, everything pure. So, now let us see verse 29 at the end of the millennium, when Sri Krishna, Lord Narayana, lay down within the waters of devastation, Brahma began to enter him along with all creative elements, and I also entered through his breathing. So, and after 4,30,000 years, solar years, it is a long time, forget about this period, when Brahma woke to create again by the will of Lord, all the rishis like Marichi, Angira, Atri and so on were created from the body of the Lord, and I also appeared along with them. So what happens at the end of that entire Manavantara? The 4 yugas are over. At that moment in time, everything reaches the state of annihilation, and Narayana is sleeping on the Adishesh, on the ocean of milk. Everything starts entering him. Remember, there is a stalk, a golden stalk on which there is a lotus on which who is sitting? Brahmaji. He also has to enter back into the body of Narayana. And everything is going inwards, 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 inwards like that. At that moment in time, through the breath of the Lord, he also enters the body of Narayana. And he goes towards the annihilation, complete destruction. And then many years pass by. Because these are not human years, okay? These years are very, very far, too many of them. After that, again the resurgence of the entire 4 yugas start happening. So the new Manavantara starts. So now the new Krita Yuga is going to happen. So when the new Krita Yuga is going to happen, Brahmaji will again come up into that picture. Again the creation will start all over again. So everything is the same. Now remember, Narada is also a part of that thing, isn't it? So the Saptarishis are also coming out. Angira and all those, Marichi, Angira, Atri and so on. All the Saptarishis are also knowledge only. So they only come out. Remember, they are full intellect, the pure intellect. And because they are pure, they will come back again as the same person. Okay? At that moment in time, even Narada is born like that. And Narada comes having his database from the previous life. Got the point? Human beings don't have. But Narada will have, and all these Saptarishis and all the Rishis, Munis and all that, including the 4 sons of Brahma, everybody will have the knowledge because they are pure. Since then, by the grace of Almighty Vishnu, I travel everywhere without restriction, both in transcendental world and in the 3 divisions of the material world. This is because I am fixed in unbroken devotional service to the Lord. So that is the reason why Narada, when he is born again, he has the ability to go to all the worlds possible. So he goes to heavens, he can go to hell, he can go to earth, he can go anywhere he feels like. He can travel in whichever space that he is free to. And thus, I travel constantly singing the message of the glories of the Lord, vibrating the instrument called Veena, which is charged with transcendental sound and which is given to me by Lord Krishna. So what happens? Narada is again born, and when he is born again, what is the one thing that he does? He travels the entire universes, all the universes. Not just one, all the universes put together, because there are lots of Brahmajis everywhere. So when he travels all over these universes, he has his veena. Ting, 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 ting. He does no. So he does that singing songs of God only. So he keeps on saying Narayana, 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 Narayana all the time. And that is how he has to travel and spread the stories of the Lord. We'll do verse 33. The Supreme Lord Sri Krishna, whose glories and activities are pleasing to hear, at once appeared on the seat of my heart, as if called for as soon as I began to chant his holy activities. So now do you understand what happens over here is, because Narada is like this, the Lord appears to him again. Okay? Remember, he has got a pure intellect. And what did Sri Krishna tell him in the last life? After this, I will only be with you. No, you can see me also. If you can see me means what? He can go to Goloka whenever he feels like. He can go to the heavens also. He can go to hell also. He can go wherever he feels like. He is no longer a human being in that life. He is only the sage. And that is why Sri Krishna appears to him in his heart. Now this is a very peculiar thing. Sri Krishna appearing in the heart is a very, very strange phenomena. The domain of Narayana, Sri Krishna, Mahavishnu, is in the heart only. In the head is the domain of Shiva. In the Nabhi, close to it, is the domain of Brahmaji. At the solar plexus we call it. Now everybody has their domain. The more you dwell on material worldly things, I want this, I want that, this is like this, that is like that, you are only going to remain in that lower belt of yours. Because it is a material worldly requirement. So it is Brahmaji's domain only. You know, Brahmaji is the one who is a creator. He keeps on giving. Take this, take this, take this, take this. When you enter the domain of the heart, it is only full of love. And what is the sound in the heart? No, don't tell me systolic and diastolic. That is not the way how you have to look at it. The sound is only the pranava. Remember, the chakra is called the Anahata chakra. Isn't it? Anahata is unheard sound. There is no sound there actually. What you hear is only the hum of the universe, which is what we call as the Omkara. You go deeper into the Omkara, you go to the base level of the Omkara. At the base level of the Omkara is the domain of Sri Krishna. Remember, Sri Krishna stays way inside. On top, you will find it is Vishnu's domain. So, when you are skimming the top, what you are actually hearing is only the Vishnu's domain. Mahavishnu's domain next. Like that, there are various forms of his which are there, which keep on coming. So, because these forms are there, these forms keep on, you reach them. But to reach Sri Krishna, you just need pure devotion. And the one thing which you need to know is, don't have this thought that I want liberation. I want enlightenment. The moment you have the word enlightenment, then you have to not stay here, you have to climb upwards. And then you go to the domain of the Sahasrahar. If you enter the Agya Chakra and then the Sahasrahar, you are going to become enlightened. There is no taste in that. It's a tasteless food like water. You are going to get dissolved. Can you imagine Shivji enjoying his life with 16,000 wives? I don't think so. No. Can you see him enjoying all the beautiful food in the world? No. Chappan Bhog is only for Sri Krishna, not for Shivji. Shivji will only be sitting there doing Om like that wherever he is sitting. Sri Krishna, he will have all the beautiful girls around him. Okay? He will be enjoying his life. He is a Dhamal Patti character, very handsome, very beautiful, all beautiful people around him, and always making mischief all the time. He is never going to become straight person. Okay? So his domain is only of enjoyment. That is why it is called as rasa. Okay? Rasa. Rasa means taste. Rasas are there. How many rasas are there? Too many of them, isn't it? Those who know dance will teach you what is a rasa. The enjoyer is called a rasika. This is the funny part about. So there are many forms of dance. Different forms of dance are there. If you are doing the Kathakali and all those kind of dance, you have to even have very good eyes. Ting, 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 ting. Bharatnatyam maybe not though so much with eyes and all. But if you are doing the Kathakali and if you are doing all those the Kuchipudi and all those kind of things, your eyes are dancing ding, 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 ding like that. Going up, down, right, left. And you are going to show all those kind of rasas, isn't it? Sometimes you will show happiness. Sometimes you will show anger. Sometimes you are going to show something. What do you think Krishna is all about? Krishna is all about this Dhamal. He is a Dhamal gang. So you want to enjoy? You have to be with Krishna and be a devotee of his. You want Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. You want Shanti? Go to Shivji. He is going to give you Shanti. Okay? And what kind of Shanti? You are going to get dissolved, finished. You are no longer existing, out of the system. So there is no question of enjoyment. No, if you are no longer there in the body, what body are you? You need body for enjoyment, isn't it? And that is what happens to this person. So, Sri Krishna appears in the heart of his devotee. That is the reason why you will find that all Kalakandi, Narada goes and does all kinds of mischief. You know that, no? He will go and tell one thing to another person, another thing to... He is a full, Associated Press and all those, all the newspapers of this world. He is like that. He will go and do whatever he wants to. He is a very good person as far as that is concerned. Okay? He has transactions with everybody. There is nobody. He can go and meet the devil himself. Nothing is going to happen to him. No demon will eat him. Nothing is going to happen to Narada. Because he is pure knowledge. Who can touch pure knowledge? Like nobody can touch Krishna, no? That is why, have you ever heard somebody doing something to Krishna? No, nobody can do anything to him. Yes, but if it is Sri Ram and all other forms, they have their problems. Shivji has his problems, isn't it? So, Sri Krishna has no problem. He is just the person, chalta hai. Anything goes. So, like that is the reason why he appears in the heart. And then Narada starts chanting the name of Sri Krishna constantly. So we have come to the end of verse 33. We will stop over here.
Recording stopped.